Hello again, and welcome to the Wing It Worldwide podcast. My name is Scott McKay.
And I'm Emily McKay.
And Emily, today we're going to the Galapagos Islands.
Ooh, I've been wanting to do that for so long.
You know, even before we really went, that was right near the top of my list. We talk about it on the blog, but I met an elderly lady on one of my first trips ever, and she had been all over the world. And I asked her where the best place she's ever gone, her absolute favorite place she's ever gone, and she said, oh, the Galapagos Islands.
Right. And it seems so impossible because all the packages are so expensive. We're wondering how in the world are we going to be able to afford to do that?
Yeah, it's like you got to pay $15,000 a person and get on this little yacht for like 10 days and float around to each island. We didn't do it.
Oh, no, we didn't. Matter of fact, I met somebody. I forgot to tell you this. I met somebody a few days ago, and she had done that. And she says she didn't really have a lot of fun on that.
Well, it's kind of like when you go to Alaska and go on a cruise package. You might see some, I don't know, glaciers calving and some whales. But, man, there's nothing like going into Alaska, and we're going to talk about this on another show, but it's kind of like that.
Right. They would travel the different islands. They were on the boat all the time. She said she'd much rather had spent more time on the land than she did on the boat. That was the only drawback. But we digress because back to our point, we did find a way to be able to go, and we had a blast. It was the way she would have rather done it.
What we did was we were going from Peru to Colombia. And before we went to Colombia, we built a segment into the itinerary to take us to the Galapagos Islands. And the flight ended up costing maybe $400 different than if we would have gone directly to Medellin, Colombia.
Right.
I mean, this was a no-brainer. Then we got to the main island. Okay, you go to the main island there. What happens is you land on an island. The airport is on an island.
Yes.
Take a little boat to the main island, and they have a city called Puerto Ayora on the island that you can stay in. It can be your base. And it's actually a neat little place. And you can see a lot of what the Galapagos Islands are known for from that island, right?
Right. It takes about an hour from the airport to town. Yeah. But it's well worth it because I believe you're on a bus, then a ferry, and then a bus again.
Yeah. Well, it was a little pickup truck taxi, remember? The taxis were pickup trucks.
That's right. It was.
And when you get to Puerto Ayora, there are marine lizards walking down the sidewalk like people. The rocks are covered with these little red crabs everywhere.
Oh, it was fascinating. We spent time looking for them while we were there.
Yeah, absolutely. We were able to rent bikes, hike out to that beautiful, pristine beach that's known for all the little sea turtles.
Mm-hmm. And canoe.
Yeah, right. Well, not even canoeing. It was ocean kayaking.
Yes, that's right.
You saw a shark under there, right? Right. And we went to the secret spot where they dive off these volcanic cliffs. And hiking out there was a trip, remember?
Yes,
it was in the middle of nowhere.
We were like, are we going the right way?
Yeah, we're like going through these rocks, and it's like you can't like misstep or you'll twist an ankle in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Like just imagine like the surface of the moon only black. And you're walking through all these volcanic rocks, and we get halfway to this quote-unquote secret spot, and remember what we saw?
Yes, it was a bar.
A bar. There's a bar in the middle of like this little footpath.
Right, in the middle of nowhere.
I'm thinking this might not be so secret.
Right. So we kept on going on our path. There's a pathway, so we know we're at least going somewhere.
Oh, we had a beer. And we continued.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. And that was a lot of fun to see that secret spot.
You finally get to the end of it. There's this beautiful water, these cliffs, people diving. There were people there.
Oh, yeah. Blue-footed boobies, too. Blue-footed boobies were a must.
Everywhere.
Yeah. And you have to see blue-footed boobies if you go to the Galapagos Islands.
Right. And I think the easiest way to see them is when we were on the kayak.
Oh, no question.
Lots of them.
Yeah, man, we were out on the open water. It was great. And the other cool thing is you can actually take day cruises to these other iconic islands and pay $120 a person.
Yes.
That's not $15,000.
For a full day
Full
trip.
day. Gilligan's Island style, right?
All expenses
Only you
paid.
come back.
Yeah, food included. Oh, it was wonderful. It was perfect. All the places important to see, we were able to see on our own terms for a fraction of the cost.
And we saw dolphins surfing.
Yes, and a seal went right by you when we were swimming.
Yeah, oh yeah, you got to swim with the seals, swim with the marine lizards on San Bartolome Island.
Right.
Which is like the iconic view. Like when you go to our website, the main picture that we have for this post is San Bartolome Island.
Right, and you get to go and climb up one of the volcanoes.
Oh yeah, big fun. And, you know, it's true still, even though there are more tourists than there used to be. When I first started being interested in going to the Galapagos Islands, you know, a decade or so ago, they had like one flight a week. And it would get there on Thursday, and if you missed the next flight out the following Thursday, well, you're there another week kind of thing. Now they have a few flights a day. It's
Yeah.
still not overrun with tourists by any stretch.
Ooh, remember when we got there, there were animals by the luggage. It was the most fascinating airport.
Yeah, at the airport. It's like an open air airport. Yeah, like you're almost having to kick the marine lizards out of the way while you get your luggage.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Outdoor.
you knew this was going to be an adventure as soon as you hit that airport.
By far, it's my favorite airport.
It's
I
my
loved
favorite
it.
tiny airport that's
It's
outside.
cool. It's outdoors. The marine animals are there. It's just wild.
What I do appreciate about that airport is they put it on an island by itself, so you don't get hardly any aircraft noise anywhere you go.
That's right. We didn't. It was very quiet.
It's almost like being in North Korea, where there's no aircraft flying over. So strange.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Whole nother podcast. So anyway, back to the Galapagos Islands. When you get to Puerto Ayora, we were thinking it was going to be ungodly expensive to stay there. It was $120 a night for a really, really nice bed and breakfast.
Oh, it's wonderful. Great breakfast. Nice, comfortable bed. It was wonderful.
Yeah, no television.
No, that's right. No television. We had to brush our teeth with bottled water.
Oh, of course. That's par for the course a lot of places you go. Some of the restaurants were actually pretty good.
Oh, delicious.
And there was a guy making necklaces out of pieces of prickly pearish kind of cacti that they had. Remember those?
Oh, that's
and he would make the
right.
flakes and put them around your neck.
Mm-hmm. And they were
cool.
cheap.
Yeah, they were cheap. Nice little souvenir to take with you.
It was.
We bought lots of souvenirs the first day. Remember why?
No, don't remember.
We didn't exactly get our luggage.
Oh, that's right. There was a mix-up.
Yep. What happens is it's like the United States. When you go into Ecuador, you have to check your luggage, go through customs, and then, repatriate your luggage or whatever.
Right.
Whatever
But
the word is,
The lady at the counter told us we were going to pick up our luggage. We dropped it off. You're going to pick it up at your destination.
Exactly. Well, that wasn't the case. And our luggage was languishing back in Quito, Ecuador. And by the way, some people don't realize this. Galapagos is still Ecuador.
Yes, it still is.
Yeah. So when you go to Quito, you are entering the country and staying in the country. It's a domestic flight from Quito or Guayaquil to whichever city you fly from to the Galapagos.
Right. So be sure to pick up your luggage and recheck it in.
Yes. By the way, while we're at it, you can take a flight there, I think, from Lima, but those are really the only few places you can get to the Galapagos from. So we flew on land airlines there. You can go on Aerogal and you can go on TAME, T-A-M-E, which is the Ecuadorian airline. But I think land is the way to go. It's going to be cheaper.
Right. Yeah. It's amazing how affordable it is to go there. It seems so unattainable until you actually do the research and realize you can go for cheap.
It can be cheap.
A fabulous trip.
Oh, yeah. I feel like we did the Galapagos Islands up.
I did. I don't think we missed anything.
Well, I mean, there's some places where, there's this big, huge cliff full of, baby seals and sea lions and stuff. Yeah, that's great.
We
didn't
more
go
time
there.
for that.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like we had the Galapagos Islands experience, and I'm thinking we spent about $1,000 total while we were there.
It can be done.
Yep. The restaurants are pretty good on Puerto Ayora. You can eat well.
Yes.
There's some nice grilled restaurants, some healthy food, some unhealthy food, plenty of beer.
And it's great. It's just down one street. You walk down the street,
Right.
You see all the stores, you see all the restaurants. I don't think we ate anywhere where the food was bad.
No, not at all. The rumor was there aren't any ATMs in the entire city. That was not true. We went 3 or 4 years ago, and there were already 3 ATMs there. I hope it's not really built up since then, but I suspect it might be. But yeah, ATMs, getting money wasn't a problem. And you know what the other cool thing about the money was? Remember? It was U.S. dollars.
Oh, that's right. It was.
You bring your dollars, and they use U.S. dollars right there in Ecuador.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about trying to figure out the numbers in your head.
Mm-hmm. El Salvador was the same way. Zimbabwe was the same way.
That's right.
I guess any country where it just gets out of control with the currency, they just switch to American dollars and say, whatever.
Be ready for the heat, though.
Yeah, absolutely. But Galapagos is a wonderful experience. I recommend everybody go there. Don't think this is out of your reach. You can do this place. You can do this thing.
Right. And you don't even have to sleep in a cardboard box to do it.
Good timing. Woo! Gotta love that. See, I'm learning as we do these episodes to look at the timer while we're jabbering on. Yeah.
Very nice.
Galapagos Islands, definitely go there. If you want to see more, go to www.wingitworldwide.com/podcast, and you will find the show notes that link to the blog at www.wingitworldwide.com, and lots of great pictures from Galapagos. You'll really enjoy this one. and lots more stories. We didn't even scratch the surface.
No, there's so much more to see there.
One thing I do want to mention about Galapagos before we wrap up is it's not like going to Hawaii or Bora Bora or the Caribbean. Don't expect like palm trees and a lot of white sand beaches.
It's very desert-like in a way.
Yeah, it's very desolate and very different and a lot like the surface of the moon and just really cool. You understand why Darwin liked it there.
Right. Well, once you realize this whole thing's built upon volcanoes, so it made sense that it looked the way it did. So, I mean, we should have expected it the way it looked.
Yeah. It's still beautiful in its own way. Especially when you go to San Bartolome and you see that vista of just, man, there's nothing and nobody out there. It's just this landscape of nothingness. Really,
like
really
I said,
cool. Yeah.
We could talk forever.
We can. Until we talk to you next time on the next episode of Wing It Worldwide, this is Scott McKay.
And this is Emily McKay.
Be good.
And have fun.
The Wing It Worldwide podcast is copyright X and Y Communications. All rights reserved worldwide. Remember, you can go to the show notes page at www.wingitworldwide.com/podcast. There you'll find out much more about all the destinations talked about by Scott and Emily on this show. Remember, if there's anything left out that you wanted to hear, chances are you'll find it there. It's all at www.wingitworldwide.com/podcast. This is Ed Roy Odom speaking for the Wing It Worldwide podcast. Until next time, be good and have